What's going on? I'll be Fitness Gaming, and you see the title of the video, you know why you're here. Look at those peaks. Almost got a cramp there. Anyways, today we're playing some more Domain Zoo. We are still testing out Expressive Iteration. Today we're playing against Charge Counter. So let's go ahead and take a look at that game. So this is not a matchup or a deck that I have a lot of experience against. But one of the things I like about Domain Zoo is that the game plan, 90% of the time, maybe 99% of the time, it's pretty straightforward. You just want to play threats, protect your threats, and ride them to victory. Control the board, right? That's really the game plan. So it doesn't really matter what the other person's doing for the most part, because we got to stick to our game plan and follow through with it. Now, there are some matchups where it does matter. You want to draw certain cards, especially in sideboarding matchups. But overall, most games in the beginning, it's pretty straightforward. Threat, smash, counter, smash. Win the game. Pretty straightforward. So we're going to go with a Temple Garden here because we already have a Steam Vent, so that's going to give us 4 colors. We have a great hand here. We have 3 creatures, a piece of removal, interaction, and then we have a way to filter through our deck with Expressive Iteration. Now, Expressive Iteration, just to keep in mind, we cannot cast right now. But like I mentioned in my other videos while we're playtesting that card, it's not a card that you're trying to cast early in the game anyways. So it's okay, right? We still have plenty of other spells that we're trying to get on the board before we even get into casting Expressive Iteration. That's more of a later game, or if you're looking for a specific answer. But having said that, blue-red can be a little hard to pull off sometimes. So opponent, after I see the creature, I know that they're in some type of charge counter deck. I forgot exactly how the deck plays. I think it's like a storm, some type of storm deck. I could be wrong. Because I've seen these decks, like they pop up every once in a while. I don't know, you probably play against them maybe once every few months, and sometimes they go off, most of the times they don't. I don't know if the deck's even that good. You don't really see it that much, probably not, but it is modern and people play whatever they want, so you got to be ready for everything. Ursa Saga, creating a token. So, right now, all I'm thinking is, okay, opponent has 2 sagas, so they're going to be down a land. If they're tapping out to cast these constructs, I'm okay with that. That's fine if that's what they want to spend their turns on. We do have some pretty big creatures, and they're going to be forced to start chump blocking soon, so they're not going to be able to gain a lot of traction and grow these constructs as big as they can. At the same time, they're losing land every turn, and they're not able to play other artifacts, so they're on their back foot right now. But again, I'm not too sure how this deck runs, these charge counter decks, so you got to be very vigilant. But we do have a Stubborn Denial, so we're feeling pretty comfortable right now. So opponent plays Map, and I have to assume that they're going to fetch out another Ursa Saga. If anybody has any idea how this deck combos off, please comment at the bottom if it's not too much to ask, because I don't really know. But like I mentioned earlier, you're playing Domain Zoo. You don't care most of the time what they're doing because you're just trying to smash. So I'll trade here. Like I mentioned in the Domain Zoo versus Domain Zoo, when you're trying to win with combat, you're okay with trading creatures as long as you're going to get the advantage. I know here that, okay, we have 2 Wild Nacatls, they're down to 4, like, we can draw a Tribal Flames, a Lightning Bolt, so we're just trying to get them to 0 as fast as possible. So we're just going to continue to apply pressure. Alright, the game's over there. So now we got to look at what we're going to bring in here. All consume. Consume all is good. Trying to look. Don't really see. I mean, wear and tear is fine. The thing, you know, I didn't really see anything that we can take advantage of countering with the Stubborn Denial. But getting rid of their Ursa Sagas and most of their board seems good. So we got a one-lander here. Usually one-landers on the draw, if you guys have watched me play before, you know, as long as we have a turn 1 play and we're on the draw, I normally keep them, but this time I did not. I felt the hand was too clunky to keep. This, on the other hand, is a good hand. We can just put back a land. But, you know, normally as long as the hand's not too clunky, you got a couple 1-drops, you're on the draw, you have one land, preferably a fetch land, so you can get whatever you want. You know, you have about a couple draws to draw into a land before you start getting into big trouble. The deck is very lean, so, you know, with three lands in play, you can do some damage. And one of the things about Domain Zoo that I really like is because the deck can get so big, so fast, and so aggressive, if your opponent keeps a weak 7, you immediately put them on their back foot. And, you know, it's very hard for decks to come back against Domain Zoo once you have them on their back feet. They really want to just trade 1-for-1 with you and kind of keep the board controlled, because once you start coming in full head of steam, it's very hard to stop because the threats are so inexpensive to play and they're so massive, right? You just have to play multiple removal spells every turn, and that can be a little exhausting for most decks. So here we fetch out the breeding pool. Reason being is, rather than playing the Temple Garden, is because the Savai Triome, that gives us the domain. So now we have domain. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. As of right now, again, I'm not too sure how this deck operates, but I don't see anything too threatening. I don't see, you know, I read the cards. I don't really understand the combo. I don't, you know, maybe we could die this turn. I'm not sure at this point. But right now, you know, it is what it is. There's really nothing much we can do other than continue to smash face. So opponent grabs another Ursa Saga. Not too threatening. So here we have the option of basically stone raining them. Which we're going to take that option, especially since that's the land that they fetched for. So we essentially like time walk them, right? They spent their whole they spent like 2 turns trying to set that up. So the temple is, you know, we gained a lot of tempo off that play there, which is one thing you want to do with Zoo. And that's why Remand is such a great card in this deck. So now we have a pretty fast clock on our opponent. Opponent probably has 2 turns here to beat us. They do have a blast zone, so they could spend their turn and a land to get rid of our Wild Nacatl, which is fine. And now we have some type of interaction in case they do have a combo deck and they could go off next turn. We can also bolt since we did see that charged creature. So if we would have had 2 red sources, I would have not played the Scion of Draco there because there's no need. But since we only had 1, if they do get rid of one or both of our creatures, like, you know, we don't want to give them any more turns. But I mean, I can see an argument to not play Scion of Draco there. Anyways, my friends, well, there you have it. Domain Zoo versus Charge Counter. Again, I'm not too familiar how that deck combos off, but I have a feeling it's some type of Storm deck. from what I remember. I haven't seen that deck in a long time. But if you guys know, comment at the bottom and let me know. And let me know if I played very good against that deck, or what I could have done better, or if I played fine. Anyways, my friend, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share my videos. And again, my friends, thank you, and take care.